Hi and hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Preeti Rao and I am both a real estate and a mortgage broker for close to 20 years. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how the eviction process works in Ontario. A lot of people don't really know what to do after they get the order from the board for eviction. They've been through the whole process where they've obtained an order of eviction, but now what's next? Let's get into it. But first, you know the drill. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and tap that bell icon. It gets me motivated to keep you up to date with everything real estate. So let's say the tenant agrees to leave and they have signed some kind of an agreement to end the tenancy, and it's been formalized by an order from the board. Now, it's very important for everybody to know that in order to get vacant possession, there's an important step you must take by completing the eviction request forms. You have to file them with the small claims court and the enforcement office in your area. Also, you have to pay a fee. It's usually somewhere between $300 to $350. Then the sheriff will contact you when they've scheduled an eviction date, and you have to be there. You have to have someone there to be able to change the locks, or you have to change the locks yourself while the sheriff is there. Then the sheriff will give you something called a notice of vacant possession. It's basically just a piece of paper that says, I was here, I basically emptied the property, and it's signed by both the owner and the sheriff. Now, if you arrive at the appointment and the tenant is still there in the property, by law, you are required to give them 72 hours to retrieve their belongings after the eviction has been concluded. And after the 72-hour period, if they have not emptied out the place, you have the right to keep, sell, or dispose whatever they've left behind. If you get there and the tenant isn't there, those are the best ones, because then it's really easy peasy. All you've got to do is go in, change the locks, and the sheriff is giving you the notice of vacant possession, so you can finally start a brand new chapter. But if the tenant is still there and you have to give them the 72 hours notice, but yes, you must change the locks because you're securing possession. You would have to either have someone go there and open the door for them to be able to move their things out. You want this done. You don't want it to really drag on to the full 72 hours. If the tenant gets back in there while they're moving their things out and they refuse to leave, you remember that piece of paper you have? Call the police. You show them the notice of vacant possession and the police will take care of the rest. Now, the real question is, how long does this whole process usually take? From getting the order to the sheriff showing up. See, it's not because of the delay from the small claims court side of things or with the sheriff's office. Everything's kind of still delayed because of the landlord-tenancy board. They are still so far behind. But once you get the order and then you file it with the sheriff, you're probably looking at somewhere around 3 weeks, sometimes even less. They are obligated to give the tenant a certain amount of notice. So that kind of eats up 10 days of the first part of the waiting time. But usually you get a date within about 3 weeks. So to summarize, you get the order, you take them to the small claims court in your jurisdiction, then you pay a fee, and then the sheriff will contact you with their date and a time. Then you're just waiting on the sheriff to complete their job. You know, the funny thing is, before COVID started, things were moving so quickly through the landlord-tenant board. It was actually the eviction that were taking longer to schedule because things were moving so much faster. And now it's reversed, where you're waiting a lot longer to get the order, but the sheriffs are kind of standing around waiting to do the evictions. So what is the reason for the delay? What happened was that everything shut down. So there were no hearings for like 2 weeks, but they didn't close the portal or the ability for people to file applications. So during that 12-week period where they were trying to figure out how they were going to transition over to remote hearings, the backlog was almost 40,000 applications. It was insane. And then they launched a new portal at the same time, and that portal had a lot of issues. Now, people could only file through that portal, and then they discovered that all those applications that were filed through that particular portal, which had a lot of mistakes, had a lot of errors on the applications. So they have to start all over again and figure out how they were going to get people to refile and not recharge them. The sheer volume of people that were trying to push through is still insane. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but in the past, when you go to the physical location, they had separate rooms. So one party showed up and would go into one room, and then the ones that were contesting would be in a separate room. The mediators were there to help people who really wanted to figure things out. It was a really good setup, because if this adjudicator in the uncontested room finished first, he would assist with the contested matters in the other room. But the remote process just doesn't give them the ability to do that. So it's just this big transition over to the virtual process, plus the 2 weeks delay, plus the broken down portal, that has set things up so far behind that today we are looking at around 7 to 8 months for a hearing date. And then after that, the adjudicators are working to get the orders out in a timely manner, because people have been waiting for so long. So it becomes really important for landlords to understand that they need to address issues in a timely manner in order to get in line faster. They have to be more on top of the game. They have to be more aware of what's really going on at the property and understand what they are able to address those issues. After that, all it takes is time and patience. So, if you have any questions and want any clarifications, please don't hesitate to call me. If you still don't know who I am, go check my rating on Google and read my client reviews. Till then, take care. And if you found value or liked this video and would like to see more content, click on the boxes on the screen. Once again, my name is Preeti Rao and my contact information is in the description box below. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe, and that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to call me, because I hold the key that opens the door to your dream home.